Hello. I am Perez Hilton, and you are watching AntiNews. AntiNews, for those of you who are soulless, catty, ginger shills, that is the podcast for you and me.
What's up? Welcome back to the end of the world, everyone. Welcome back to Snowpocalypse 2019, where it is currently no degrees. There aren't any degrees. It might be even less than no degrees. But this is the place where we keep you up to date on the end of the world and the things that are going on in that, and we give you all the news that you need, and we give it all the disrespect that it deserves, and we just, poke fun at what's going on in the world. And I'm joined, of course, by the illustrious industrial Craig. Craig, how's it going?
Why am I industrial exactly?
I don't know, just words. We also have a co-host today, our friend from Church and Other Drugs, Masta Jeddy, Jedd Payne. Jedd, how's it going, my man?
It's going well.
Cool. So, Jedd, how's the weather going out in your neck of the woods?
It was beautiful today.
I hate you.
It was shorts weather. Yeah, it was. It felt like spring, blue skies, a few of those Norman Rockwell clouds going on. It was the
kids
nice.
were walking their dogs and walking with little red balloons and wagons down the road.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, glad to hear that. If I wasn't talking to you right now, I don't actually watch TV or the news or anything. I would just assume the world is literally coming to an end because they're reporting they're reporting record lows of negative 40, 50 for this week. It's absolutely insane out here in the
negative
death
50?
Zone of Illinois. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
You're lying.
Well, Chicago is looking at negative 60, I think, is what they're gearing up for.
Has that ever happened?
No, it's record, as far as we know, that has never happened in the history of the world, unless you believe in the Ice Age. But that's another topic for another day.
Did you know that if there is ice on the planet, we are in an ice age? That's the only criteria.
Well, then we've always been in an ice age, haven't we?
Exactly.
All right, then.
All right. Well, then it has zero meaning at all.
Me and your mom sent me a message just before,
you and Jedd have the same mom?
Yes, me and you. Well, maybe we all have the same mom. Sent a message saying that everybody keep an eye on your heating systems because your heating systems are only designed to keep up with negative 30s and above, and so these negative 50s and above, your heating system might not keep up with this. So
we might all die.
Crank your heat up 5 or 10 more degrees, and keep all your doors shut. Which no shit. Why would you go? Let me throw my windows open and see what the weather's like outside. But I'm glad I have a fireplace, at least in my basement. So if my heat does completely go to shit, at least I can go gather up some shrubs and burn them in my fireplace.
Yeah, I was supposed to be playing a show this Wednesday night at a bar in the QC area, and I just messaged him before we got on here and told him I'm not going to make it because it's it's a weekday show, which already there's very small likelihood of people showing up, and negative 40-degree temperatures. I'm not going to risk death to go play for nobody at a bar somewhere.
Right. Wow, dude, you've really lost the passion.
Yeah, I have. I have.
Did y'all ever? So the coldest it got in Louisiana when I remember, and I was living in these really, really, really rickety, rundown, leaky apartments, and they just had a window unit, and so we had to heat our apartment with the oven. Have you all ever done that trick?
Yeah.
You just leave the oven on with the door open?
Yep.
Oh, I just take the dryer, the vent tube off my dryer and just run my dryer straight into that.
That's also a good one.
All right, well, this is the place where we drink the drinks, smoke the smokes, and talk about what's going on in the end of the world. Jedd, you're new here. You were on the Thanksgiving special for the AntiNews, and so you kind of know how this goes. What are you drinking? What are you vaping? And so forth.
I'm drinking Sunkissed with It's not neat. I've got 3 cubes of ice in there.
Very nice, very nice.
And
Sun-kissed on the rocks.
Sun-kissed on the rocks. I am vaping. Oh shit! I just blanked on it. Oh, it's TNT by
AC/DC.
something, but it's dragon fruit and strawberry.
Very nice, very nice.
The delightful medley.
Nice. Craig, what do you got?
I am drinking Founders. It's called Azaka. It's an IPA. It's delicious by
Cool.
Founders. And vaping, I finally got my shipment of Snow My Gush in. Currently, I'm working on.
I just got mine today too.
Working on Tropical, and then on the side, like in the bullpen, I got the Snow My Gush Blues for when I get bored with this stuff.
Yep. I've got I'm drinking my typical Monday night as of late. The Spike Energy Death Caffeine, Volcano, and hopefully my heart holds out through that. But I am vaping on it's a new one. I can't remember what it is. It's like a blueberry pastry of some sort. Blueberry. I don't know.
I can't do the pastry ones. They all taste like bread to me. They're just bread.
Yeah.
I thought I was because I had told you last week I was doing that like off-brand caramel cappuccino shit, and it tasted like garbage. And I was getting to the point where I was like, I need to cut back on vaping because this is making me feel like shit and stuff. Well, then I got my shipment of good stuff in, and it didn't make me feel as shitty. So nope,
the
I'm
shit
back
stuff
on
makes
the.
you feel like shit.
Yep, I'm right back on that bandwagon, or off the wagon, on the wagon, whatever you call it. But yeah, I've gone through probably 4 tanks just since I got the shipment yesterday. So
Hey Craig, when I talk, I'm getting an echo. Can you fix that?
Ooh, not again. We're supposed to fix that before.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but you didn't. All right, we are going to. We've got quite a few calls this week, actually. I think we have like 8 calls, so this might take a little while, and our pre-show might be the first half of the show. We'll just see what we've got here. But let's see what we've got.
Hey, real quick, are you still listening?
Check. Nope, sounds good. All right,
Cool.
Caller number 1. Here we go.
Hello, AntiNews! It's me. I really like your podcast, and I'm listening, and you say Hillary is gonna run. Hillary better not run. Hillary better run and hide. This is Ching Chang. I like most of your show. It's offensive when you make fun of my family.
I don't think that we've specifically made fun of your family. Did he say?
We make fun of every Ching Chong's family.
Did he say Ching Chong or Sing Chan? I heard Sing Chan.
I heard Ching Chong.
All right. Ching Chong or Ching Chang, something like that. I don't remember.
Which Ching Chong are you? Please be more specific next time. But thank you for your call, Ching Chong. I really appreciate it. All right, what else we got here?
Dan, I need you to call me back. I'll know what to do with the body. She's just in the trunk, and I've driven for a long time, and I don't know where else to put her. So give me a call if you can help me out. I'm just gonna start digging. Should I hear somebody? Bye.
I do know who that caller was. I'm not sure if I should say his name.
I recognize that voice.
He's a frequent caller. He may or may not have been on this morning's episode of. We're recording this on Monday. It comes out on Wednesday if you're a new listener. He may or may not have been on Monday's episode of the show. I'm going to say he wasn't because it seems like it might be a little incriminating. But caller, thank you for your call. All right, what else do we got?
I want to know the details around what was going on there, like what led up to this point.
Sir, we'll call you Mr. Martinez. I'm just making up a name here, Mr. Martinez. If you want to call back in and let me know the details, that would be fantastic, and I would appreciate it.
And that's just a generic name.
Yeah, just generic name. Not assuming that I mean, I don't want to sound like a racist or anything, assuming that it's like, never mind. Okay, let's, here's the next call. Let's see what we've got.
Hi, yes, this message is for the AntiNews gentleman. This is Moon Lover 69 again. I think you are familiar with that one. I just cannot. I watched your episode last week, and I find it absolutely deplorable the way you treat the people who call into your show. You make fun of me. You're going to make fun of me. You think the moon landing did not happen. You're willing to make fun of me. Another thing. You talk a lot about the MAGA kids, and the MAGA kids are complete pieces of trash. Straight up utter racist trash. They're Donald Trump supporters, which means that they are trash. I wish that somebody would go find them. I'm not going to say that I think that they should be murdered, but if somebody murdered them, I would not shed a tear, because they shouted down a Native American Inuit gentleman. That's just completely unacceptable behavior. Thank you. I just don't understand. Goodbye.
All right.
Did they say Native American Inuit?
I believe that's what he said, yes.
Once again, I still, to this point, do not know if this is serious or not.
I think they were having a stroke. I think we just heard a stroke.
Yeah,
in real time.
That was
That's just the level of frustration they have with us at this point.
That was Moon Lover 69. He called in last week to chastise us for saying the moon landing was faked. But
he would love the moon.
Yes, I can't tell if it's a real person or a fake person, because some of the comments that we get on our YouTube channel are just as ridiculous as that. So if somebody is actually calling in from the YouTube comments, I could totally see that being a legit caller. So time will tell. Moon Lover 69, thank you for your call. Always a pleasure, and thank you for your listenership.
Thanks for looking out for those Native American Inuits.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I deeply apologize for making fun of your last call, and now we will proceed to do what we do best and
make fun of calls.
Make fun of your current call. Yes.
All right. Let's see what else we got here.
Yes, I would like to lodge a complaint against the System is Down podcast. I just think that the System is Down is being a little harsh on Google and YouTube for looking out for the people. We got all these flat earthers trying to get people to think that, that there's a round earth, or a flat earth, I should say, and not a round earth. And that is damaging to society, and it's just as bad as anti-vaxxing. So I just want to get it on the record that I think you guys should support Google. They're a really family-friendly company. Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said family. I'm sorry. I mean a friendly company to people of all persuasions that happen to be in coupled relationships with children or without children. They're all equal. My point being, be nice to Google and YouTube. Please, Dan. Do not go after them. Please.
I believe that was Neil deGrasse Tyson. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I know who that was.
And I know Neil when I hear him.
Yep.
For some reason, I feel like that caller, who I think I know who it was, and the last caller might be the same person, because they seem to have the same, I don't know, structure to their format to their phone.
Actually, calls. I can tell you for certain that they're not the same, because I can see their numbers.
Well, maybe he's calling from two different numbers. You ever think about that?
He's got to be. You really think he's that dedicated to masking his identity?
It's not hard at all. The Google Voice. It's like 2 button clicks.
Yeah. Okay.
That last one to me sounded like somebody who's been on your show before in some of your political debate.
You can drop names.
Okay, John Schweppe.
Yeah.
And I I've had my suspicions that the moon lover guy was John Schweppe, because that just seems like the level of trolling that John Schweppe would subject himself to.
I don't know.
But I don't know either. Again, I don't know. That could have been a completely serious call, and I guess we'll find out next week when he calls back in.
Guess so. All right, here's the next one.
Hello, my name is Jessica, and I was just calling because I have a problem with this show. The system is down. I'd like to address a couple of things. First of all, you're a white privileged cis male piece of garbage, Dan. Okay? You want to talk about these Covington kids and say they're so great because, they just sit there. They were wearing symbols of oppression. Have you ever heard of it? A MAGA hat or whatever it's called? That's literally a Nazi symbol. Okay? And you're there defending the Covington kids. I saw it. I think anyway, I don't know, I was actually directed here by George Soros. But my point being is that please just understand that, you're white and you're a male, and so therefore you're actually the worst. And that's just the way it's going to be. So, hey, I hope you play this on your podcast. I'm actually a really big fan, because I really like some of the conspiracy theories, but I really think you need to get off your cisgendered male whiteness, and please, okay? Thank you.
Just please, okay?
Let me guess, that was a different number, too.
I can neither confirm nor deny that was a different number. Jedd, I don't know if you knew exactly what you were getting into when you hopped on this show, but here.
We're getting a lot of pushback on this today, apparently, by completely separate individuals.
Definitely separate individuals there, but we'll keep things rolling because I'm gonna have to start setting a time limit for these calls because apparently certain people like the attention.
Number limits.
What?
I said and number limits. You
Exactly.
only get 2 calls per show.
All right, next one.
Yo, what's up, Dan? This is Kyrie Irving, starting point guard for the Boston Celtics, and I just want to tell you, I'm a flat earther, and I got this information from this podcast. This podcast really set me straight about the planet, about where the sun is and where it goes at night. And so I just want to give you my thanks, man. People gave me a lot of shit for it. They were like, hey, Kyrie, you're an idiot. And I was like, why do you think I'm an idiot? Have you checked this out or this out or maybe this source or this source? No, you just buy what you're told by the media. And they were like, man, you don't understand, dude. And I was like, dude, come on. Flat Earth is real. You got to look into that shit. But I did apologize for being a flat earther. I kind of had to, these people, man, Google's coming for you, dude. You better look out. But this is your main man, Kyrie. Big fan of the show. Thanks so much, brother.
Good Lord. All right.
Wow, Kyrie sounds super white.
He sounds an awful lot like Jessica.
Yeah.
And the other person.
Yeah.
Was against flat Earth thing.
And I don't think he pronounces his name Kyrie.
He mispronounced his own name.
Yeah, but who knows?
I have no idea. I assume that's somebody from sports ball. I know of the person only because of the flat Earth connection, but I don't follow sports at all. So, Kyrie, if that is in fact your real name, thank you for your call. I really appreciate it. All right, a couple more, 2 more here. Here we go.
Hey, Dan, this is John Schweppe. How's it going, man? Haven't called in a long time. Just wanted to, see how things are going. We should hang out sometime soon. Hey, what might be fun is doing a tripartisan triggering episode. We haven't done those in forever. The people like it. Let's get back to it. Let's, talk about MAGA and things like that. But, hey, yeah, I just wanted to give you a call because you asked, and I figured, hey, I'll give you one call. And, just one and make sure that, you realize I'm listening. So this was my one call. Hey, thanks so much for doing what you do, man. We love your show. Talk to you later. Bye.
Who's we?
The last 4 calls.
Craig, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, you're frozen. Whatever.
Or I was just like looking intently at something.
Oh, you're like smiling really big and frozen. Oh, now you're moving. It's like it knows when we're talking about you being frozen.
Dude, bringing the mannequin challenge back.
Yeah. Well, John Schweppe, thank you for your one call. I really appreciate it. And this will be the last call, and then we'll get into the actual news and what we're here to do. Good Lord, people. Thank you. We appreciate it. But good Lord, John.
Please be John Schweppe.
All right. I don't think this one is. Let's see.
How? This is Native American actor, elder, Nathan Phillips. I just returned from my peyote vision quest, where I was visited by my ancestors, and I had a great epiphany. My great Native American grandfather, Johnny Phillips, also known by his honorable Native American name, Methface McToothless, visited me. He gave me a message. He said, "Hey, Nathan, stop being a lying asshole." And I really took that to heart. So I just wanted to call in and let you know that I have seen the error of my ways, and I plan on trying really, really hard to stop being a lying asshole who seeks attention wherever he can get it. Also, the Black Jews started it, and I'm not a very good drummer. Thanks for everything. I love AntiNews. Sincerely, very Native American man, Nathan Phillips. Goodbye.
Wow.
Thank you.
You get some notable figures calling.
Right?
Man.
High profile.
Jeez. Boosting our cred right there, man. Very Native American man, Nathan Phillips. Thank you. Thank you for your call.
Native American actor, leader.
Elder. Craig, any thoughts on that last call?
Well, I'm glad he stepped up and took responsibility for his actions, and maybe this whole thing can get put behind us now. And yeah, and man, I'd really like to meet his grandfather or whoever, that McToothless, whatever.
What was it?
Big Chief
Johnny
Toothless.
Phillips?
Yeah, John Phillips. Yes. Super Native American name, John Phillips.
All right. Well, those are the calls. Thank you guys for making this quite entertaining to kick off the show. We are going to jump over into the news now and kick off the intro, and we will see you momentarily after our fun little pep talk intro here. So stay tuned. Nope. Never works. Never works the first.
All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
But ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he didn't really mean that.
What I call nastiness.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al Qaeda.
Handle the truth.
I remember that with that smoke. We are still here!
We have to say yes to secrecy.
No. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
All right. Let's do this. Let's look at what's happening in the world, and let's just poke it. Poke it in the eye. Poke it in its all-seeing eye. First things first, obviously, the Snowpocalypse. Chicago's record for coldest temperatures ever could fall as polar vortex has city in the crosshairs.
Vortex?
That's what they're calling it. Polar vortex.
That sounds brutal.
That's hard to even say. Polar vortex. Jedd, can you say polar vortex 5 times fast?
Polar vortex. Polar vortex. Polar vortex. No.
No, you cannot.
Polar vortex.
There you go.
Nope. Can't do it.
Point proven. All right. So this comes from ChicagoTribune.com, so you know it's legit. First off, before we get into this, I should ask Jedd, as somebody who's kind of new to this, what do you have political leanings? Are you willing to say what those are?
I don't care.
Politically agnostic?
If I had to, so I guess I'm politically agnostic. If I was gun to my head, had to pick one, I guess libertarian.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Whatever. I have not, nor will I ever register to vote, and I'm 31 years old, if that tells you anything.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
Well, you are doing your country a disservice.
You're doing your country a service. But, I mean, even if you had said hardcore lefty, I would say, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, no matter if you're left or right, we can all agree that the world is jacked and the news is stupid, so let's make fun of it together.
Amen.
All right, so this comes from the Chicago Tribune, so you know it's legit. One of the coldest air masses in years will envelop the Midwest and Northeast this week, bringing potentially life-threatening low temperatures to the Chicago area that will feel even harsher in tandem with strong winds. We literally live in a place where there's a good chance we'll die in the next week. So
coldest wind ever, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like my mother-in-law is coming into town.
Oh, but I'm
flirting with Chicago's coldest temperature ever, -27 on January 20th in 1985. -27 was their coldest ever. And
So
even
you're going to double that.
Yeah, even down here.
That's the wind chill. Like it's supposed to be like -20s, -30s, but the wind chill is supposed to be what brings it to the -60s or whatever.
Or so.
So is your city going to shut down? Like what? Y'all are used to cold. Are you excused from activities and work and stuff?
My kids' schools. Well, my kids last week, because of snow and cold, they went to school for at most 5 hours last week.
Same.
And then this week, they had a 2-hour delay this morning because it was kind of spitting ice a little bit. And then tonight I got on the website and they have already closed the school for the next 2 days just because of the cold.
Yep. Over here, they've closed until possibly Friday. Maybe not even Friday. So they're
closed until further notice.
Yeah, there's like, well, I guess there's not going to be school because you might die. That's what we're living in.
That's what I had told my coworkers, because we drive service vans around. I was like, look, Wednesday, it is literally going to be dangerous for us to drive because if one of our vans breaks down, we are fucked, literally fucked.
Right.
What are the homeless doing?
Dying.
They're dead. They died like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you didn't hear?
New article. This comes from the Chicago Tribune. All the homeless are dead.
Yeah, I just love the deadpan. Yeah, you didn't hear?
We forgot to mention that on the news last week.
Right.
Yeah, all the homeless died.
Jeez, dude, wait, catch up, bro. Yep. Read a book. They've been dead.
The homeless. Trump has officially solved the homeless problem in America.
Trump will build the wall from the frozen bodies of the homeless.
Trump has single-handedly defeated homelessness by bringing on this winter tundra and killing them all off.
Thanks, HARP.
That's what I was going to say. Trump ordered HARP to come in and solve the homeless issue, solve the migration issue, solve all the issues in one fell swoop.
There you go.
So this brings me to my next question. Jedd, how do you feel about global warming at times like this?
Here's the thing, buddy. If it's so cold up there, where's this global warming I've been hearing about? I don't think so.
Global warming. I think you should be talking about global freezing.
Exactly. It's like Mother Nature left the refrigerator door open, man. Go shut that shit, son. Damn. Global warming. Give me a break. I think we're. I think we are definitely heating things up.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, we literally talked 4 weeks ago about the news article where they're talking about spraying chemicals into our atmosphere to block the sun to fight global warming. Like, please, please don't.
The Matrix, dude. Like, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Right.
The sheer irony of them telling us for years that aerosol spray cans are what's causing global warming, but they're going to spray chemicals into the air to stop global warming.
These are the good aerosol chemicals, though, not unlike the bad ones that you find in hairspray and bug spray. These are the good ones.
Right.
Until they decide they're not.
Right.
Jedd, the whole world freezes over because they're like, "Oops, that was a mistake."
Exactly. Jedd, did you happen to come with any news stories? If not, that's fine because I've got more than enough to carry the show. But if you did,
see, I did last time, and I wasn't even able to read them. So
that's because we had 12 people on talking over each other.
Bitterness and resentment. I was not prepared.
That's all right. That's all right.
But I will. You read yours. I will grab some.
Perfect. Yeah, find whatever you want. And what we try to do whenever we can is have the most awkward transitions between articles and somehow tie them together. So, talking about the cold, Craig, do you want to jump into your first article?
Well, let's see. Which one ties in the best?
This is going poorly.
Speaking of... What?
Well, this is already going poorly. Smooth, Craig, smooth.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cold-hearted... No, I don't know. Well... The government's back up and running. Speaking of things being shut down,
is it?
Yay!
Hey, it is. It was temporarily restarted or rejuvenated or whatever the correct term it is until I think they said until like the 15th of February, the 14th. Oh, Valentine's Day. At least they get to all go home and enjoy Valentine's Day together when it shuts down again.
How do lizard people have sex?
That's a great. We should look into that. So, speaking of lizard people, Chuck Schumer reacts to Trump's shutdown announcement of ending the shutdown. His reaction is, "Hopefully now the president has learned his lesson." That's Chuck Schumer's response.
Yeah, because that'll happen.
Thanks, Dad.
Right, and like Trump's the only one in this out of everyone that needed to learn a lesson,
right.
Not Chuck Schumer or
what was
anybody
the lesson
else
that he was supposed to be learning? That we don't need the government?
It says lawmakers on both sides of the aisle reacted Friday to Trump's announcement that he would support a short-term bill to reopen the government following a month-long partial government shutdown and stalemate between Republicans and Democrats on funding for a wall at the border. And it wasn't even a stalemate. It's like, no, I don't really agree with that. It was just like, one person would come up with one thing and the other side would be like, nope. Not going to do it. Like I saw a video of Ted Cruz, bless his heart, chastising the rest of the Senate or the Democrats of the Senate, because literally a bill was proposed that the only thing in it, there was no like little secret things put in there. The only thing in it was, well, we're paying the rest of the military. We should also be paying the Coast Guard. And instantly Chuck Schumer objected to it.
Is that the one where Ted Cruz cried and the guy was like, "Dry your alligator tears, Ted Cruz"?
I didn't see that one, but that wouldn't surprise me.
I think I want to say that was it, because he was addressing the floor or whatever.
Was that a hint to us that they are lizard people?
Right.
It might, dude.
Might have been.
That seems pretty blatant.
They had a slip up there.
Did y'all talk about the egg in my way?
The egg?
Huh?
What's the egg?
The world record egg.
No, I don't know about the world record egg.
Never heard about this.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, I did hear about this.
Yeah, in the most probably...
You got to say, speaking of blank
yes.
transition.
Speaking of the Zodiac Killer, and he likes his breakfast
poached
over easy. Yeah, he likes his women like he likes his breakfast. killed. Egg poaches Instagram record from Kylie Jenner with most liked photos. So
I saw that last week and I forgot to bring it up, but
yes,
thanks for reminding me.
I don't know about this. Tell me.
Thank God, thank you internet for just sticking it to the Jenners. But so Kylie Jenner had the world record Instagram photo with 18 million, and somebody just uploaded a picture of an egg. That's it, and it's called world _record _egg, and it's got like 35 million likes and counting.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Didn't they do it intentionally to pass her stupid photo? Yeah, like everybody reshare this so we can pass stupid freaking Jenner's picture. It was like a picture of her stupid baby too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Her stupid baby. If it's her baby, it's stupid. I hate that baby. I'm not pro-abortion, but that
Jenners,
baby.
really? The Jenners? Come on. I did see, you might get into this, but I did see that, was it Kylie you said? Kylie Jenner?
Uh-huh.
She responded to it with like...
Kylie Jenner?
Kyrie Jenner? She responded it to... with like a picture of her eating eggs or something stupid, or cracking an egg or something stupid like that, like getting a stab back at the egg.
To which everyone said, "No,
who cares?
Not buying it."
So, speaking of dry, arid, and vapid places, Toto's Africa to play on loop for all eternity in the desert, thanks to artist creation.
What?
Have you heard about this?
No.
All right, so this artist set up an installation in the Nambian desert, which consists of 6 speakers attached to an MP3 featuring Africa by Toto and Africa Only by Toto. And it will be playing forever in this desert.
This is an art piece?
This is an
Who are
art
they
piece.
trying to torture?
It runs on solar batteries.
It sounds like when they tried to torture the Branch Davidians in Waco and we're just blasting ridiculous music.
Yes.
Mankind. We're all about coulda, not shoulda. We can do this. Let's do this. Why not?
I mean,
it's
with
art.
Can
Speaking
anybody
of...
stop to think of how this would affect the ecosystem there? Like, I'm sure the animals there would freaking go mad.
Speaking of crazy things, radical feminist, transgender activism is a men's right movement. This one should be fun.
What?
Yeah, that title gave me cancer. Like, read that again.
Okay, radical feminist,
Okay.
transgender activism is a men's rights movement.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can see where this is going.
Because men are trying to steal women's rights.
Well, yeah, because women with penises are now taking women's rights. I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening.
Cannibalizing themselves. We've talked about this before, and we predicted it, and it's coming true. They're cannibalizing themselves.
Yes. All right, let me read a little bit of this
break
one.
that down, yeah.
Let me read a little bit of this. Kara Danksy, a feminist lawyer and spokeswoman for Women's Liberation Front, Wolf.
Sounds like a weed strain. Kara Danksy.
Yes, spoke against the so-called Equality Act at the Heritage Foundation on Monday, denouncing the transgender and gender identity movement as anti-women and anti-lesbian in particular. Her remarks echoed the London Pride March sign declaring that, quote, trans activism erases lesbians. Continued quote, this is a men's rights movement. This is really a men's rights movement. Thank you for clearing that up. Danksy.
To be clear,
Danksy is like
a men's rights movement.
Danksy is like it's like a combination
street artist.
Exactly, it's like a combination of Banksy and weed. It's like some super ultra hipster name.
Yeah, I'll say that here. Copyright patent pending Jedd 2019.
The Danksy
I'm gonna
podcast.
Start weed themed.
I think that's exactly how copyright works.
Be Danks.
There you go.
Danksy declared, calling for men to stand up for women and denounce the transgender movement. Quote, overwhelmingly, women have been resisting this, end quote. Hashi Horvath, a man That's a man's name? A man who... I like how they had to specify that it is a man. A man who once identified as a woman and underwent surgery said a few seconds before Danksy's remarks, quote, and it's really shocking how many men on the internet are defending the whole trans thing. Straight men are all about the trans. And you have to wonder what the heck is going on. Horvath agreed with Danksy in condemning transgender activism as men's rights movement. And Julia Beck, a lesbian and former member of the Baltimore Mayor's LGBTQ Commission, nodded in agreement. She gave her official nod of agreement. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She gave
I know
her...
that's right.
So let me break this down.
It was a lesbian nod of agreement.
Back 5-10 years ago, when the majority of straight men were completely opposed to transgenderism, we all got shit for that. But now that many straight men are completely for transgenderism, we get shit for that.
Yep.
What the fuck do you want?
Right.
What do you want from us?
Suicide, I think. I think that's the only...
I think so. I have to...
men need to kill themselves.
Now, you guys continue. I'm going to kick off my camera here for a second because I forgot that I have my my refrigerator, my mini fridge plugged in, which likes to mess with my interface. So I'm going to unplug that real quick. You guys continue talking about
dude, look
trans.
at the humble brag. I got a mini fridge. Like,
Yeah.
damn, dude.
Well, I got a mini
flexing.
fridge too, but I wasn't going to say. I actually have 2 mini fridges.
Wow, dude. It isn't... Well, I mean, technically, I have 3 mini fridges, but it's just a refrigerator.
They're just stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, it's just...
So if me and Dan have talked before, what I was getting at before is that all these activist movements, they have to at some point start eating each other because, and we said, like, the feminists are going to have to turn on the transgenders because, like it's saying here, they're males trying to get the same rights as females. And so at some point they are going to clash and it's going to be a brutal, ugly storm. And now we are actually seeing this.
It's gonna be a cat fight.
This, and here it is.
It's going to be a cat fight.
It has to happen. If you are pro, like so super pro women's rights and so anti men, you have to be offended when a man decides that they are a woman and they want the same, be treated the same as what you think the women need to be treated.
We have
that's a solid point.
They're literally talking about men who are identifying as lesbians. Like, words mean nothing anymore. Like, at some point you gotta say...
but it's a blatant attack on lesbians.
Right.
First, I gotta stop here because I forgot to mention, I do notice something different on your face, or the sides of your face, this week than was there last week.
Uh-huh.
Did you get little holes in your ears?
I got little holes in my ears, yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Little gay holes in my ears, yeah.
Little
gauges?
Gauges, yes.
I was hoping you just got the one side pierced just for a statement.
No.
Just got like right ear pierced. But
Nope.
no, got them both.
No, actually, I'll tell you a little bit about my weekend. Yesterday was my daughter's 10th birthday, and I've always thought, someday I'll end up piercing my ears, and what better time than for me and her to go on her 10th birthday to get our ears pierced together. So we went to Claire's and got our ears pierced together, and I went first to show her that it was fine, and I held the teddy bear and held her hand, and and I got my... Kayla took a picture of it. I got my picture taken, like, there's a little cutout of, like, a little space girl that says, like, I got my ears pierced or something, and I put my head in there and got the picture taken.
That's hilarious. Yet another example of a man trying to steal a women's thunder at Claire's. Wow, dude.
I got mine.
It's my toxic masculinity
at the jewelry section of Walmart, so it wasn't too much better.
That is awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
Then my ears got all infected, and I got like gangrene. I had to get them cut off and get prosthetic ears, but it was a great experience.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, and I got. They had like their selection of choices of earrings that you could get, and these were the only black ones that they had, and they're still a little bit shiny. I would have gone for something more matte, but
I think those are the exact, like, it's like almost a black diamond or something.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the exact one I got at Walmart back in the day because it was the only not super like 12-year-old girly choice that you could get, and then also not just like the generic silver BB that everybody got back in the 90s.
Yeah, I thought about getting a big old like like actual diamond to be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, get
like,
some massive rocks.
Awesome, super bling.
And because I got my ears pierced there, I got 20% off on any of their little girl earrings.
Now, I don't care where you're from. That's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
It's true.
I actually didn't end up buying anything else because I'd already spent way too much. My daughter I bought some things for her, but they had, and I'm probably going to go back and get them at some point, but they had rainbow-colored koala bear earrings that I'm probably going to have to get.
Well, now you have a reason to go back into Hot Topic and look at the sweet Gauge section.
Right. So, all right, that's the next my next question. Are you going to Gauge?
I haven't decided yet. I don't know.
I hadn't decided at this point either, and I am now at like 9/16 because after like 2 weeks of that, I'm like, no, I can't keep this small. This is gay.
I have no problem with looking gay, as has been made very well apparent. But
you've been wearing rainbow nail polish for at least 6 months now, so
more than that. But yeah, I don't care. I've thought about gauging. The problem that I have with gauging is there's actually less creative options. Like with earrings, you can get all sorts of different fun, flowery, gay things. With gauging, I mean, you've got gauges, and that's it. And you can get like
but they come in
you have not been to Spencer's yet.
Yeah, they come with a smattering of colors and
images
and shapes.
You can get those like bone curl things
Yeah.
that like hang
Really,
down to, like here.
Really, I'm not against it. I just haven't decided, and there's a good chance that I'll get bored and decide to do it eventually. And obviously, I mean, my lobes were made for gauges, so I probably should.
That's the sole reason I gauge mine. Somebody said you have great gauging ears, and I ended up gauging.
I've had multiple people ask me if I used to gauge my ears because of my lobes. I'm like, no, I've actually never had my ears pierced. Actually, we were at Claire's, and Kale, my son, was like, "I thought you had your ears pierced." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?"
That's super observant of
yes,
him.
it was like, "You live with me, kid." And then we went to Aheva's birthday party, and our mom was like, "I thought you already had your ears pierced." It's like, good Lord, people.
Nobody pays attention.
To be honest, I thought you had your ears pierced.
When I got my lip pierced,
really
everybody
not
thought I
even
already had that
making
too.
up.
Yeah.
I think my brain just fills in the gaps because of the look.
Right.
It's just like, oh yeah, of course he has his ears pierced.
They're probably thinking like kind of blending their memories of me and with you because I've always had my ears pierced, and I had my lip pierced probably 10 years ago. So they're probably blending us together.
Anyway, that's the local news. What else is going on in the world? What do we got?
Well, speaking of squeezing a teddy bear, this is going to be my last one because I got to get going.
All good.
A 3-year-old boy who went missing for 2 days has told his family he hung out with a bear in the woods.
Are we talking about a large gay gentleman or a...
You know, I didn't even think about that, but my guy, he's like, come here, little child, you'll be okay.
You'll be fine.
Big teddy bear.
Yeah, and the mom just said he said he hung out with a bear for 2 days. God sent him a friend to keep him safe. God is a good God. Miracles do happen, end quote.
Was it Baloo the bear?
I don't know, but like...
They sing
do you think this kid, like, do you think do you think
I think he's
a
full of
bear
shit.
took him under his wing for 2 days?
I think
He
he's
might
lying.
have got like
Mowgli
hungry
style.
and delusional and was like hugging a rock and was like, good bear.
He went on
good
a peyote vision quest, and he saw a bear in his vision. He hallucinated it. And he also saw Nathan Phillips in his vision quest. So
That makes
It's like a weird Calvin and Hobbes scenario.
yeah, I think the kid's a liar. But who knows?
Wow. Parents
Who knows?
peddled this story to get on the news. It's not enough that my kid was missing for a week or like 3 days and came back. We gotta throw some interesting stuff into the picture
Flower it
so
up even
we
more
can
for
get on the
attention.
news.
Son, where have you been? What's that? You were with a bear? Okay.
No, Mom, I wasn't
No,
with.
Mom.
Oh, but you said you were. Backhand across the face.
Do you want Christmas or not?
Right. That reminds me of have you guys ever seen what is it? I can't remember what the name of the show, but there's some show on Netflix. It's like a sketch comedy show, and I think it's the David Cross and Bob Odenkirk one.
Mr. Show?
Yeah, it's like the reboot of that where they couldn't use the same name as like I don't know.
Oh, the one on Netflix?
Yeah. But one of their sketches is like the kid dies and goes to heaven and comes back and he's telling his story and they're talking to the news people and they're like, the kid's just like, yeah, it was beautiful. I saw grandma, and grandpa, and there was this really nice man with a funny mustache named Hitler. What? Like, no, you didn't say that before. They're like,
that's not. This kid's a liar.
Yeah, they're like backpedaling his story and everything. He's like, yeah, we played together and everybody was there. And he's like talking about all the things that don't line up with their story. It's just.
It was so inclusive.
Yep. Anyway, Jedd, it's been a pleasure. And Jedd is, I believe, the episode that you and I did together is coming out on this coming Monday's episode of the regular System Is Down show. So everybody tune into that and go check out Jedd's show, which is Church and Other Drugs. You want to tell everybody where they can find all your stuff?
Yeah, you can... don't go to churchandotherdrugs.com. You can find us on Facebook. Email churchandotherdrugs@gmail.com, patreon.com/churchandotherdrugs, and we're on iTunes, everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Cool.
That was Jebb, right? Am I saying that right?
No, sir. No, sir.
Can you say please clap for us?
D. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jebb. No, I'm saying Jebb. Jedd. Thanks for being here, man.
Kin to Bush. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll catch you on next time.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah,
See
it
ya.
was fun. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, now it's just me and frozen Craig. Craig?
I am not frozen.
Your video keeps freezing. It's probably because the temperatures are so cold that your camera is freezing.
It's working for me.
It is working now. When Jebb was on, it wasn't working.
My internet lines must be freezing, which doesn't surprise me. I do have indoor coax cable running outdoors back to my router because that was the only way to run it. So that could be affecting things.
Yeah.
And not coax, Ethernet cable. I'm sorry for all you tech geeks out there. I misspoke.
Right. So before we get into anything else, we'll do a couple more stories. We've had a good night, but let's give a shout out to all the people who support this show with their hard-earned and much appreciated dollars. If you want to be on this list, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down, and you'll get a bunch of bonus audio and video content, and you'll get the after party of this show. But if you're listening, you won't see the names, obviously, because it's audio. But if you're watching,
just know they're there.
Right.
Just imagine.
Also, I forgot to mention the people who called in earlier. They called in to the number that's down at the bottom of the screen. If you are listening, the number is 309-716-3818. Please call in, leave us a voicemail, and we will play it on the show. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be back with a couple more stories to wrap things up. Here you go.
Hey, this is Brett Glyer from Donor-C, and you are watching AntiNews Live.
Hi, this is Ole Damgood from Light on Conspiracies, and you are watching AntiNews Live.
Hey, this is Brian McWilliams from Electric Liberty Land on the Lines of Liberty. You're watching Anti-News Live along with my lazy dog Hank here, who diarrheaed all over that couch. That's why that blanket's there. Enjoy!
And now it's time for that part of the show where we give a big thank you and a shout out to all the beautiful men and women who support this show with their hard-earned and much appreciated dollars. We could not do this without you. If you would like to increase the value of your life and get your name on this list, just go to patreon.com/The System Is Down and join the Downers Club.
I'm done, I'm pissed, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. You Satanists want to sacrifice the West. You want to kill the beautiful goddess that is the West. You people are enemies, and we're going to get your asses, and we know what you're up to, and we're coming for you. So I've had enough of these people. Okay, so I've been containing this for the last week. That's why I've been in here sweating and getting pissed, because I can't handle it anymore.
Hey, this is Toby from Bad Christian, and you're watching Anti-News. Hey, this is Toby from Bad Christian, and you're watching Anti-News.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lucas from the 29 Toes podcast, and you're watching the Anti-News Live. Fun fact, do you know anything that you drink out of this mug tastes 50% better? You should give it a try. Enjoy the show.
All right. That was that. Thank you guys, everyone who supports the show, who gives us your money. We appreciate it very much, and I'm using it to boost things up, boost the numbers, boost the production, and all the stuff. Not the words and the ability to, do the talking things, but. Yeah, I hope you guys feel like your money is going to a good place and you enjoy the after party and you enjoy all the bonus content that you get. But we appreciate you very much. Speaking of Alex Jones and they want to kill the beautiful goddess that is the West, migrant with flesh-eating bacteria detained at U.S. border. Did you hear about this?
I saw the headline, but that sounds problematic.
Does it sound like a reason to build a wall?
Yeah, possibly. That might be a good reason.
Does it sound like a reason to secure our borders somehow?
Or it might just be somebody that was a story that was planted to get reason to build a wall.
That could very well be, too. This comes from apnews.com, so you know it's legit. A man among a group of migrants detained in a desolate part of New Mexico near the border with Mexico has been diagnosed as infected with flesh-eating bacteria, the U.S. Border Patrol said Friday. The man was taken to a hospital in recent days after telling a federal agent that he had a growing rash on his leg. It's just syphilis, man. U.S. Border Patrol spokesman Carlos Antunes said, flesh-eating bacteria are a rare condition called... Flesh-eating bacteria are a rare condition. That doesn't sound like the right word usage, but I'm not a grammar Nazi here.
We'll just go with it.
Flesh-eating bacteria are a rare condition called necrotizing fasciitis.
They say fascism?
I think that's what it is.
I think they included that in. They made up a name to like vaguely throw in the word fascism. So we're like, oh, like our brains just subconsciously, oh, that's got to be bad. Yes. We got to build a wall.
And much like fascism, it spreads quickly and can be fatal. The bacteria usually gets into the body through a minor cut or scrape and can cause a serious infection that can destroy muscle, skin, and other tissue. A statement from Border Patrol officials said the unidentified migrant will require extensive medical treatment. Antunes said he could not provide more details on the man's condition. Sometimes surgery is needed to remove the infected area. It's rare for the infection to spread to other people. The man was detained near the small city of Lordsburg. His home country was not disclosed. Another 300 migrants, mostly Central Americans, were detained Thursday south of blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Things that have nothing to do with this. A guy had a thing. We don't know where he came from. We don't know exactly what it is. Sometimes limbs need to be cut off. It's usually not spreadable to other people. So big fat nothing burger, scary story.
Do you know why I say this is just a scare tactic to get people to agree with the need for a wall? Is because maybe 2 years ago. Because 2 years ago or so, a woman was ziplining and had an accident, cut her leg, and she developed the same condition in like South Carolina.
Right.
So we should probably build a wall around South Carolina to contain the flesh-eating bacteria there.
Well, build a wall around all zipline parks or whatever.
Sure. And I've seen, I used to have regular television, and they used to have those shows that gave like the weird causes of death or the weird diseases and stuff, like just they do the over dramatization of the replay of the story. And I remember as a teenager seeing a woman who had contracted the same flesh-eating bacteria here in the United States. So it's not something that's coming from Mexico and they're going to bring this up from Mexico. No, it's just a bacteria that just lives in gross areas and Mexico happens to be one of those gross areas. I'm
Right.
sorry, but also whatever swampy area this woman was ziplining in too. So
Exactly.
it's not something. I obviously they're saying that mentioning the two together.
They're making it sound
being
like all
detained at the
Mexicans have
border.
flesh-eating bacteria.
Right, and they're gonna bring this flesh-eating bacteria to the United States.
Right.
And in the article it specifically states it's not a very good chance, probably no chance, that it can be passed human to human,
Right.
unless you like cut yourself and then somebody else cuts themselves and they're like blood brothers or something like that. But yeah, it's all scare tactic, fear porn.
At least they were willing to admit that it's. I mean, they said themselves it's kind of a non-issue since it's very unlikely to be passed from person to person.
Then why are we reporting on it?
Exactly. What's your point? What's your point? Speaking of gross ways to die or strange ways to die, coming from Fox5NewYork.com, people robbed of Canada Goose coats at gunpoint in Chicago. Chicago police are reporting gunpoint robberies targeting people wearing pricey Canada Goose jackets as temperatures plunge in the city. Over the past...
I mean, yeah, I would rob at gunpoint if it meant I wasn't going to die as one of the many homeless people are dying in this frigid temperature.
But if you can afford a gun, you can afford a coat. Or you could just go into a store, I would think, and hang out for a while.
Or that. There's that.
Chicago, okay. Over the past 2 weeks, police say there's been a spate of the thefts in which people wearing the luxury coats have been targeted and forced to give up the jackets. The coats can cost upward of $1,000 and are often seen on celebrities. Who's wearing a $1,000 coat to begin with and expecting not to get robbed?
Right.
I mean, they're making it sound like it's because of the cold, but why are they targeting really expensive coats? Wouldn't you just be looking for any coat if you're just looking to get warm?
Yeah, it has nothing. Well, it might have part to do with it, but it's the price thing or the resale value or something. There's something more to it that they're targeting the specific brand.
Yeah.
Like what freezing cold person at the end of the ropes is going around, nope, that's not Canada Goose Down or whatever it is. Nope, I don't want that coat. Let's go keep on looking.
Right.
I've never heard of this coat, so how common are they? They can't be that
I have no
common.
idea. Right. Like, it's obviously not like homeless people stealing the coats, because homeless people don't have guns, and homeless people aren't going to care about the cost of a coat.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah. Police say 2 men jumped from a Mercedes, showed a gun, and punched a 54-year-old man before forcibly taking his coat and wallet Wednesday. The same night...
Yep. All the homeless people are driving Mercedes around, wielding guns.
Exactly. The same night, 2 men showed a gun to a 25-year-old man walking with a friend and demanded his Canada Goose coat. It's not even like... I mean, if that's the brand name, that doesn't even sound like a classy brand. Canada Goose.
Sounds like kind of like a hunting coat,
Exactly.
like a Carhartt type coat.
Yeah, it sounds like a Gander Mountain brand or something. Get your Canada Goose. All right, that's it for that. Transition into something. Give me another one.
All right. Speaking of gross people, I'm going to transition from your last one because you didn't let me transition. Speaking of gross Hispanics, actually, So America has had this trend over the last 50 or 60 years and supposedly Trump was doing away with this trend of going into other countries and saying, nope, I don't like the way you do things. I'm going to set up the way I want to do things, and I'm going to put my choice of president into leadership. I mean, we've done it in all of the Middle East. We did it in, I can't remember the names now, Libya and Syria. We tried to do it in Syria. We've done it in Afghanistan and Iraq and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Well, Trump apparently, when he said he's no longer going to do these tactics, he was full of shit there too, because apparently last week Trump recognized Juan Guaido as president of Venezuela. So Trump, a U.S. citizen and president, said, no, this guy is now the president of your country. I am instilling this man as your president.
What?
President Trump said Wednesday that all options are on the table. If Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro doesn't peacefully leave office after Trump recognizes the head of Venezuela's National Assembly as president of the strife-torn country. So he said, you are causing problems, and he said all options are on the table, which usually means all military options, war, nukes, or bombing, or drone strikes, or whatever. So he said if Maduro doesn't step down peacefully and recognize Trump's recognized president, then, yeah, all options are on the table. He said, we're not considering anything but all options on the table. All options, always, all options are on the table. Does that not sound...
You were saying?
That statement, did you hear the statement, or were you...
No, I was too busy looking for that. It just seemed too fitting.
The most Trumpy statement that you could ever hear. He said, we're not considering anything but all options on the table. All options, always, all options are on the table.
What does that even mean? Not just some of the options, all of the options. The only thing that means is
always all
war.
The options, not
War. That's a possibility, is war.
Well, that was when asked about military intervention.
He could have just said yes.
In 2000. Yeah, no, Trump can't just say yes. He has to give the best.
We got the best options.
Yes. We got the best. I'm going to give you the best yes that you will ever hear. Nobody has ever heard a yes like I'm about to give you.
Exactly. So, as we always say, we are not Trump supporters. We are supporters of good ideas, and we are not supporters of bad ideas. Here comes a bad one, and I'm not for it. So there's that.
It says Trump earlier recognized Juan Guaido as president.
We call him Guido.
And Juan Guaido as president, and hundreds of thousands of anti-government protesters swarmed the streets of Caracas, the capital, and other cities. Today, I'm officially recognizing the president of the Venezuelan National Assembly, Juan Guaido, as interim.
I'm sure that's the way he said it anyway.
of Venezuela. That probably wasn't even his real name. His name's probably not even Juan.
It's probably like Gustavo Escobar, and he's like Juan Guaido.
Okay, he continues. In its role as the only legitimate branch of government duly elected by the Venezuelan people, the National Assembly invoked the country's constitution to declare Nicolas Maduro illegitimate and the office of the presidency therefore vacant. So it says the people of
Venezuela he's not just shutting down our government, he's shutting down everybody else's government too.
Yes. The commander-in-chief said he would use America's economic and diplomatic powers to help restore democracy to the country.
That's how it's worked every other time, right?
Yeah. And he encouraged other nations in the Western Hemisphere to also recognize Guaido. He also warned Maduro, who remains in Miraflores, the presidential residence in Caracas, about crackdowns on Venezuelan protesters or reprisals against opposition figures. We continue to hold. Do I have to keep doing a Trump voice?
Yes.
Every time Trump. Okay.
How will we know it's him if you don't?
Legitimate Maduro regime directly responsible for any threats it may pose to the safety of Venezuelan people. As interim President Guaido noted yesterday, violence is the usurp's weapon. Wow, that's a big word. Big word for Trump.
It was written down.
But we only have one clear action to remain united and firm for a democratic and free Venezuela. Maduro and his supporters, which include the military, no kidding, so far planned a counter-protest Wednesday at Miraflores. Team Trump, I like how they... Not Team America, Team Trump.
Right.
It's as close to Team America as we can get in this article.
Exactly.
Team Trump hopes to exploit the outrage.
Go on. You're muted now.
Trump hopes to exploit the outrage sweeping the impoverished nation against hardline Maduro, whose economic policies have left the country on the brink of collapse. So if a country's policies have left the country on the brink of collapse, is that our responsibility?
No,
or
it's not.
The country whose policies left the country on the brink of collapse.
Yes.
Sometimes it's for the better to just hit the reset button and start from scratch.
Yes.
Just let it all burn and then start from scratch.
Well,
I'm not.
That's what they're trying to say that they're doing. They're hitting the reset button, but the reset button is, change of power and us going in and policing the world again. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just pisses everybody off.
Hate us. They hate us because they hate our freedom.
That's right. We're gonna go shove our freedom up their ass. I mean, Venezuela's not doing well. No,
in their shit.
I feel bad for the people that are suffering in Venezuela, but that doesn't mean that it is our government's responsibility to overthrow a government and force them to do it our way. Like, it's for them to figure it out.
When we roll our tanks down the Venezuelan streets, are the people going to come out and cheer and hold American flags? Are they going to fucking hate us too for tearing up their streets the way we did in the entire Middle East?
Yeah. History repeats itself, and here we go again.
Yep.
Yay, we're getting out of Syria and Afghanistan. Let's move over to Venezuela instead.
I haven't watched any of his shit in a while, but I would love to see Alex Jones' response to this. Can you imagine how sweaty and outraged he must be hearing this news?
I don't even know what Alex Jones thinks or whose side he's on or what. He might be for it even. He might be against it. Who knows?
Do you remember when Trump mentioned actually going into Syria after the chemical attacks? You remember Alex Jones'
drunken rant, cussing him out and saying F his whole family. Totally stable guy, that one. Totally stable.
Yeah. I'm glad Trump had his backing for a while.
Yep. Meanwhile, all the YouTubers are commenting on my interview with Kelly Jones, making Alex Jones out to be a victim to a evil, evil woman. But whatever.
Obviously.
Yeah. I'm gonna do. I don't know. Let's do one more, and then we'll wrap it up here. Do you have a good one, or do you want me to do one?
My good ones are more for the after party. So
okay. This seems like this seems like a good one to do here.
Before you get into that, I did see another article about the Venezuelan president claiming that the upheaval is what it says in Venezuela is actually the responsibility of a U.S.-led coup. So all this dissension in the country, according to this president, is due to a U.S.-led opposition, which wouldn't be out of the question, because that's what we tried to do in Cuba. We tried to get all the people to secretly rally against what's his name? Now I can't even think of his name. The president there. Castro, there you go. I was thinking Chavez, but that's the old Venezuelan president.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, and then, yeah, that's our mode. That's our calling card is you sneak some CIA agents in there and you get people all rallied up and in uproar. And then you come in, you're like, you know what? These people are pissed off. We think you should put this president in charge instead. So it's just business as usual. Yep, it's just a narrative that they're going to push, and keep an eye out. It will happen. Absolutely, it will. If they want to go there, they're going to figure out a way to justify it, and we're going to go shove our freedom down their throats again. All right, so speaking of Doomsday, this Doomsday Prepper Dream Home in Nevada Desert is on sale for $900,000. Take a look inside. I wish that I had it pulled up on the main computer so I could share it. It comes from CNBC. The 4-story, 22-room, 8,000 square foot castle for sale for $900,000 in Nevada Desert is one solution to, the end of the world or getting away from it all. We should start a GoFundMe. I'm thinking about it. Yeah. From now on, if you would like to sponsor my future home, you will all be invited to come join if you are members of the Downers Club. If we can raise $900,000, we'll buy this home and we'll all move in it together. We'll all form a not a cult, but a group that is trying to wait out the apocalypse in
Exactly.
our fortress and hopefully keep the government from burning it down.
Yeah, if you watch the latest season of American Horror Story, it'll be like that. The witches or whoever had their bunker below the earth and started a new civilization after the apocalypse. That's what we'll be, but not witches. Unless Lalican Scathich, if you want to join us, you're welcome to. You're a pretty cool guy. Anyway, let's read some of this. Quote, in a lot of ways, it's a doomsday prepper's dream home, extremely self-sustaining, secure, and admittedly quite odd. Jake Rasmussen, who is marketing the property, tells CNBC, make it. Quote, basically, this property is an enormous privately owned fortress with 16-inch thick concrete walls and self-sustained energy systems using solar and wind, and with a 4,000-gallon water storage rain catchment system. Isn't that illegal? I thought that was illegal. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's illegal.
Fuck it. It's located in the middle of the Nevada desert, and the owner has added 2 enormous vintage pipe organs, which resonate through the halls.
Badass.
It's exactly like what you would expect, like from like a creepy culty coven or something, like that's gonna wait out the apocalypse and play their pipe organs, their gigantic pipe organs, into the end. Just imagine like a shot outside of this castle, and you hear pipe organs as there's like dust blowing and corpses laying all around. Only added to the oddity of it all, Rasmussen says. So-called doomsday preppers are people and groups preparing for worst-case scenarios like the end of the world as we know it. Companies that cater to doomsday preppers sell things like food preserved in military-grade Mylar pouches, portable toilets, propane grill. We know this. Blah blah blah. Obviously, those who can afford it. Who can afford to do so, think Silicon Valley tech elite and New York City financiers are going a step further, buying bunkers and homes where they can hole up in the event of calamity.
Is that not just ominous and does that not just get your conspiracy radar going when you hear of all these super elites buying up bunkers and shit like that? It's like, what do you know that's about to happen?
The people that say that conspiracy people are crazy are also preparing for something.
Right.
Something that we can't afford to prepare for. So that's all fun and well.
Unless you fund us on our GoFundMe, the buyadoomsdaybunker.com.
I think it was last week that I said we're starting a cult, everybody. Let's do it.
Yeah, because I said we could get tax-free exemptions if we started a religion.
We will start the religion, and we will buy this $9,000 or $900,000 castle. Yeah. Hard Luck Mine Castle is surrounded by nothing but Nevada desert for miles. We're going to change that name. That's boring. Hard Luck Mine.
We change it to, what was David Koresh's place called? Mount something. Mount Carmel or Carmel?
Yeah.
We'll just call
it Mount Carmel too.
No.
And we'll invite David Thibodeau. And Gary Nesner is welcome to join. The home is which if you're new listeners, both of those people, David Thibodeau and Gary Nesner, the FBI negotiator who, investigated the Waco incident, have both been on the show. So they're both welcome to join because they're both great people. The home is located at 6,000 feet atop Gold Mountain, 35 miles south of Goldfield, Nevada. The closest sign of civilization is Gold Point, which is not much more than a ghost town turned Old West vacation spot 10 miles away. This is it sounds so perfect. I want it. I want it so bad.
It sounds like my dream home.
I know.
Not even during the apocalypse. Like right now, I would love to live there.
The Beatty, Beatty, a town with a population of only 1,010 people, is 50 miles away. Las Vegas is 187 miles away, and Reno is 325 miles away. So this is literally out in the middle of nowhere. And it's a gorgeous property of desert and nothingness. with caves underground and pipe organs and beautiful interior. Look it up. It's our new goal. I'm gonna set a new goal on our Patreon for reaching $900,000 to fund this property, and you are all invited to join.
If you hit the $900,000 level as a donator, we will single-handedly make you the emperor of the Doomsday Castle.
You are the new dictator. No, it'll be a libertarian anarchy paradise, but
you will have the title. You just won't have any.
It just won't mean anything.
Legislation behind it. Exactly.
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for this apocalyptic report.
I have heard about people. I heard a person, I think it was one of those doomsday prepper shows. Somebody had bought an abandoned underground nuke missile bunker, like a silo.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the tube that they shoot them out of.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 10 stories down or 20 stories down, how deep it went. And it was just like,
that's awesome.
Kind of a spiral all the way down, and they had plans. They hadn't really built it out yet, but they had plans to like build rooms all the way spiraling down this tube.
That's
it's
awesome.
Basically like a Christmas wrapping tube underground that was like solid concrete. And I'm like, that would be the most perfect shelter for a nuke blast, because that's exactly what it was built for, to survive a nuclear missile.
Yep. So that's the new goal, everybody. I mean, we've talked before about funding for getting for trolling people like Tom Arnold and Caitlyn Jenner and things like that.
Which we still want to do.
Which we still want to do that. Those are the small goals, and actually, I don't think we've ever talked about that in the main episodes, but we'll talk about it someday. If you want to hear more about that, go join the Downers Club in the after party. We will discuss that more. That is what is helping fund our new cult dream home for $900,000. But all that said, thank you guys very much for listening, and stay safe out there in the snowpocalypse and the literal end of the world. And let's party and have some fun together as we.
This could be our very last show.
It very well could be. I mean, any show could be our last show based on the things that we talk about on here.
That's true.
For more reasons than one. So, anyway, Craig, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I just hope nobody dies in the cold, and less homeless people are affected by this. And
yeah. I hope nobody dies in the cold. Nobody dies from the obvious migrant epidemic of flesh-eating bacteria. I hope nobody dies from...
None of the Venezuelans die from the
Trump
U.S.-led coup.
Yes.
I hope... what else do we talk about? I hope no children get eaten by bears because they think they can run out in the woods and cuddle with bears.
Right. So stay safe, everyone. It's a horrifying world we live in. Let's continue to make fun of it and enjoy it together. But until next time...
bears are attracted to the menstruation.
You hear that, Ron? Now you're putting the whole station in jeopardy. Bears! But yeah, call in and we'll play it next week. 309-716-3818. If you want to listen to the after party that we're going to record right now, you can do so by joining the Downers Club. Patreon.com/The System Is Down. Until next time, question everything, stay uncomfortable, and have fun.
Stay cold.
Stay cold. We'll talk to you guys next week.
So here's my pledge to you. I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country, to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.